We've got some breaking news here that you really need, and from 3 different nations of the world. First of all, let's go to Japan. 4 are dead and 1,000 people are injured and been taken to hospitals as the heat wave in Japan continues. The severe heat wave continued in many parts of Japan, with the temperatures toppling over 39 degrees Celsius for the first time this summer in central Japan city of Koshu. At least 4 people have died of apparent heat strokes. 1,000 people have been taken to hospitals, according to the figures compiled by the Kyodo News. And most of the people who die from heat will be the elderly or the very young. So pray for the people of Japan, because ever since the earthquake of 3/11/11, they've had, the earthquake shook the ground for 6 minutes, and then a tsunami came inland for 6 miles, killing 28,000 people, destroying everything in its sight, followed by 6 nuclear reactors melting down with radiation, poisoning the land, the water, and the air. I mean, it just never ends there. And they've had catastrophe after catastrophe. Last winter, they had some of the worst, coldest winter and snow in history. And now they're having intense heat. The judgment just seems to be coming up on them. And just pray for the people of Japan. Please pray. There is some wonderful Christians there that I know have contacted me and been partners of our ministry that we really need to pray for them. Now, I want to thank Sheila of Alabama. 5 people have been killed. Nearly 200 prisoners have escaped in Indonesia after a prison riot. At least 5 people were killed today in violent riots that broke out in a high-security prison in western Indonesia. 200 prisoners have escaped. What? What's going on there? According to the Jakarta Post, the prisoners escaped after setting fire to the maximum security prison. And among those escaped were 15 prisoners convicted of terrorism offenses. You do know Indonesia is the largest Muslim population in the world. And so some of your radical jihadists are there, of course. A prison, so the riots triggered all kinds of different things going on. It's not good. They don't need it. Pray for the people there. I know some of my followers and partners of our ministry. Ben, I know you live there in Indonesia, just praying for your people, praying for you because of the earthquakes you've had, and now the last thing you need is a prison break. Also, thanks Sheila Clemens as well down there in Alabama. 24 people have been killed in attacks on Shiites in Iraq. Attacks against Shiite Muslims in Iraq have left 24 people dead and 49 injured in the latest attempt by insurgents in the country's renewed sectarian tensions, according to Iraqi officials. The attacks have raised the death toll to 40 from a series of attacks since yesterday, which included assaults on police stations in the cities of Ramadi and Fallujah, west of Baghdad. In one of the attacks, why were we there? Why did we spend 11 years there for? Why did we lose over 5,000 U.S. soldiers there? Because at the end of the day, the Sunnis and the Shiites are still at war. And when we leave Afghanistan, it'll be the Taliban fighting with those that want to live above Sharia law. And in Egypt, it's the Mohammed Morsi's Muslim Brotherhood wanting to impose Sharia law. And it's the same thing in Tunisia and in Libya and in Yemen. And in Syria, it's a fight between the Sunnis and the Muslim Brotherhood, backed by the Obama administration, against Assad and the Shiites, backed by Putin's administration from Russia. What? I mean, it just doesn't end. It's what the Bible said would happen in the last days. There'd be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Speaking of that, there is a typhoon headed right for Taiwan. It's going to hit in just a few hours from now. I'm telling you, it's a Category 3 and it's getting bigger. The winds are 195 miles an hour. Pray for the people of Taiwan. Oh, and speaking of signs in the heavens, NASA has found a new planet. They call it the alien planet, the blue world, the strange blue world. Call it the deep blue world. For the first time, scientists have seen the visible color of a distant alien world. The exoplanet called HD 189733b. Let's say it together. HD 189733b. This is a all blue planet. It's 63 light years from Earth. It's a deep cobalt blue because of the gases, raging storms and glasses of rain and super fast winds. It's a violent planet out there deep, 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 deep into space. But God created it for his own glory, for his own satisfaction of the creation of his hands. Anyway, we're seeing more and more and more signs going on, not only in this world, but in the universe, all pointing toward the same thing. Time is running out, and Christ is going to return for his bride. Are you ready? Are you part of the bride of Christ? Are you saved? Are you washed in the blood? Are you ready to go? Because Jesus is coming. We're living on the edge of eternity. We're at the apocalyptic hour. We're on the brink of the beast. Something biblical is going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ. And you want to be saved when he comes. Don't be left behind. Don't be left behind. Whatever you do, do not be left behind. Give your life to Jesus Christ. You do not want to face the wrath of the winepress of God.